In today's video, I decided to check if I can fix tonal balance with only 3 plugins from our lineup and a bit of leveling. And you know what? I have a feeling that it's not only possible but also very easy to do, but only if you know how to use those tools the right way. So I have this little project here, which I made and mixed without any reference tracks or listening to any music in between sections. That's actually first and probably the biggest mistake you can make, so I did it on purpose to show you how wrong it could be, but how easy it is to fix it. Now, let's actually use a reference track and select its drop section for a better A/B comparison. I need to pause to reset the measurements, and now it's the moment of truth. Well, just by watching how level line scale changes to ±10, I can already see we have some huge differences and issues here, especially with low end, which is 5.5 dB louder than the low end in my reference track. If you're familiar with our plugins, then you may say, well, just slap bass drum on, use reference track as target, and then follow the adjustment suggestions. That's a great practice, but as you can see, in this case it helped just a little bit, since the problem is somewhere else. If you see suggestions like those, it's better to adjust levels and then treat bass drum like a tone shaper to fine-tune things in the context. So let's just mute it for a moment and try to lower the level of my whole sub-layer by filtering only the low-end context and doing some A/B comparisons. I can work with that, so let's move to another region that causes some issues here. So we have a big dip from 1K to around 8K Hz. That's the area where my chord stacks play the main part. If you're not exactly sure what to look for, a quick tip here is to solo a group or instrument and then watch how level line behaves. Since level line reacts to both reference and my signals and the dip gets deeper, it's basically like a confirmation that that is the part that caused the problem at first place. Just like with bass, first let's try to lower the level of those chord stacks. I will leave other elements like ambience and arps where they are, since I feel this lead here also needs to play a little bit lower. Not gonna lie, it worked really well, especially while doing some A/B tests by ear. The dip that still bothers me is here, around 200 to 500 Hz. So let's quickly check what it might be. Well, I'm pretty sure the reason is that I used a crunchy mid-bass layer, while my reference has only a sub-bass going straight into mid-focused chords. So let's leave it as it is. The key of referencing is to not make everything sound exact the same. In fact, it's nearly impossible to have this level line straight throughout the whole spectrum. You will need to use the same instruments, drums, and all of that. Although I feel we can do something with the spike at 10K Hz. At first it sounds the same, but if you listen closely, my track has much wider highs, while the reference kinda collapses them to mid-image a bit. We will work on that later, since I think we got really close with all of those individual adjustments. Now it's time to do some mastering tweaks and clicking that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this video so far. First, let's get back to bass drum and analyze our track again, since those readouts were made with the previous version before I muted the plugin. Everything looks and sounds fine to me, although I can try to cut a little bit from 80 to 160 Hz to even out this spike a little here. For ranges above 320 Hz, let's use mix room, and just like in my low-end example, I have my reference track already set to give me the adjustment suggestions. Remember, as I was talking about those spiky highs? I can use this band that Mixroom created and then change it to mid. In that way, the boost will apply only to mid image, and as expected, it does a great job with eliminating the spike. I think I agree with the rest of adjustment suggestions, so I guess it's time for a quick before and after comparison. To be completely honest, the result is completely different to what I used to hear once I was making this track and even mixing it. But now I can clearly see what mistakes I made. And I get it, sometimes you just want to produce or mix without any distractions, but considering the original video footage from my DAW has only 12 minutes, think about how less time it would take to use those tools I showed you right from the start. You can try them out for yourself by visiting the link down in the description, as well as check our other videos.